Good morning YouTube and the internets. Today, due to factors that happened when I was on my way home from the airport the other day, we're going to be rolling the guards. This is all you need. The roller could be optional depending on how far you need to roll your guards. You could do this job entirely with hammers, but you definitely 100% need the heat gun. Unless you want your afters to rust. Now I'll show you why we're doing this today. When I got picked up from the airport, my son was driving, my dad was in the passenger seat, I put all my luggage in the boot, and I was sitting here on the rear left. And as a result, we've got a nick in the tyre. Now I heard it and felt it scraping. It's just in this one spot, but one particular scrape was worse than the rest, and it has cut into the tyre a little bit there. Now, I don't think the tyre is going to fail in any way, but if we don't rectify this, it will, if there's load in it. And also, remember, I'm lowering this, so despite the fact that the fitment on the rear is actually better than the front, just with all that weight in the back, it is possible to nick the tyre and cut it. So we will be rolling this up today, but I'll be doing all four, because that's what you do. The fronts, there's a faint witness mark around the edge here, you can see. Maybe you can't, but there's a faint witness mark there where it's rubbing up under there. Now this has still got the inner guard, and it's got these bolts. So what I did on my last Corolla when I lowered it was I replaced these square bolts with a dome head screw. It made a world of difference once it was lowered. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. So as always, when we jack her up, we're putting axle stands under. Now in a job where you can, I like to leave the jack in as a third point, just for that extra safety. And for these cars, that forward trailing arm mount seems to be a pretty good spot. So yeah, it's been difficult to find a good spot in the rear, because it's all very skinny in the middle. But to get maximum stability, get out wide on those is pretty good. As ever, I cannot recommend enough getting one of these. So, while we're here, see, we've had some faint rubbing here. That's going to be maximum tyre deflection. Not a big issue. And if we look on the inside of the tyre, there's no real marks there. There's a little bit there, and I'd say that's just touching on maximum load. Not a big drama. Have a look around the wheel. Well, you can see a bit of black on there, so she has been scraping on that, and that's what we're going to be rolling. Up and out of the way. No other witness marks in the rear. Excellent. And here on the other side, we have the same, some minor deflection touching there, not a big drama. And again, we have the witness mark here of the rubber. You can see here where it's grabbed it and pulled it, and that's when it's cut the tyre. So this is what we're going to roll up. Now this, we might have a look at trying to permanently mould that out of the way while I'm here, but that is not what's causing the damage. It was my number one suspect until I had a look and saw this. So let's get started. So step one when doing this is to protect the paint, prevent it chipping. Just use our heat gun on the hottest setting with the lowest speed on the fan. Try and heat soak the panel and the edge itself that we're going to be folding up. Get a good heat soak in there, but you'll be continually reheating it throughout the job unless you want to split the paint. Now we'll keep heating it down here too, because when I put the roller on, it's probably going to get down about that far, but I'm going to do this with the hammer to start with, and I'm going to use the roller to to smooth it out and finish the job. Now, I did all this on my R33 Skyline. It took 2 videos to do when I was first starting out, because I didn't know how to edit very well, I didn't know how to YouTube very well. I still really don't, but this will be one video, I promise you. So all we do is get this nice and warm, and then I'll come back to you when I start working it with the hammer. Now, while I have this hammer, and when I did the 33 I ended up with a much bigger hammer. Unlike that, I'm not trying to pull the guard out. All I'm doing is rolling this up. So, we've got our low impact hammer, or low blow hammer, and just start working that up all around the guard. Just gently. Doesn't take a lot, it's thin metal. You can't unfold it. You can't unfold it, but you can fold it more. And you're going to get a world of shit coming out from under there. What I'll do is I'll do this side, and then I'll set up on the other side where I got more room, and I can set the camera up properly and show you a bit more of the process. Just going to bust this one out, then go to the other side. Okay, here we are on the easy side to film. I've done the other side already. Doesn't take too long. Take a dead blow hammer and just start massaging it gently up. No. Take a heat gun. Start heating the paint so it doesn't split or crack. Now it's hot, we take a dead blow hammer and just gently work it up. So you can see it's just bent up a little bit. This is not the finished product. Now, if you don't have a roller, this is where you spend the next hour with a hammer. If you have a roller, you've now got this far enough for the roller to act on something and pull this out and squish it flat. That's the idea of the roller. Saves you about an hour's worth of hammering. So let's fit the roller and start rolling. Don't forget to use these spacers. They come with the roller. They're there to prevent you screwing up the taper on your nut and therefore scratching the shit out of the recess on your wheels when you go to fit them back on. Now remember, at this point your handbrake should be off so you can move this. Handbrake's on, can't move it. Don't do what I did on the other side and fit this, then take the handbrake off, because then it falls and it goes bang and it puts a ding in something on the inner guard. Now we've got to get this at the right angle. So at the moment that's too far over, that's for the finishing sort of angle. You want it about a 45, and the height's probably a bit high. There you go, drop that down there. Adjust that there. And this whole job is constantly being adjusted. Now on this particular car, it tightens up towards the front because the bodywork comes in. So you only get sort of the top third, and then you have to readjust. See, that's about as far as you can go because the angles are all wrong. So I'll adjust later and get that little bit and transition it. But just for now, I'm going to concentrate on getting this bit here where the tyre catches, or will catch, up and away. So just do it a little bit at a time, just like with the hammer. Adjust and then go. about this point, the metal's probably cooled down a bit. So before I go any further, I'm going to give this a heat, but I'm also going to then adjust the angle on this to get some of this front stuff out of the way, and then I'll readjust for a finish. Okay, so we're going to adjust this now for more towards the front. We'll bring that down and we'll push that angle up a bit. Bring that down a bit more. It's bottomed out. Just pull into where we've already started. Whoops. We'll finish the front of this with the hammer. So now we're just letting the roller work its way around. Loosening it off slowly. Now we'll tighten it up. Just didn't happen on the other side. It was a pain, but it wasn't this difficult. This area is not going to catch a tyre. This is just transitioning, so it looks neat. Like anything in life, you'll only get out what you put in, so if you take the time, you should get a nice result. I can't remember the amount of hours I spent on the 33 one, but it was over the course of several days. The end result of that looks very good. Just got a lump here, I'm trying to massage down. Go. Lovely. Just keep winding more and more into it, and we're going to run out of roller. Now we can concentrate more on this area in here where the tyre will catch. Finish it off. So we drop this down, square it up. This one, adjust it up to here. Get it up nice and high on the roller, or very low on the roller, which gives you a maximum, no, high on the roller. Gives you the maximum amount of roller down there. Enough. Just going to work through the whole arc and then just start massaging again like before. Gently applying more and more pressure with this. Let the tool do the work. That should be more than sufficient to clear these tyres. Just release it again, work our way down, transitioning in to the square bit of the arch. That's it. that's pretty much it. Again, $1 million. These are worth $200 million. And they only cost a few hundred. I mean, the time and effort they save is just obscene. So we are not quite finished yet. This is folded up real nice, but you see where it transitions. We just need to give that a bit of manual love, just to smooth it out a little bit. But that should be zero scrape zone. Again, this is not about clearing, this is just making the transition smoother. That looks pretty good on the old ichrometer. There's a couple of little waves in there, but no one's going to see it. I would call that job done for the rears. Now for the fronts, it's still got the plastics in there. The scraping's not been as severe, even with me sitting in it. So all I'm going to do is just pop the roller in with the guard in and just pull it up a little bit. And generally just pull the inner guard away from the tyre a little bit, and these bolts. So trying to refit the rears, get it down, and then get the front up in the air. But that should take less than half the amount of time as the rears took, and didn't take very long at all. Although it is a bloody hot and muggy day, as you can probably tell by my face. So as a little bonus, I'm going to straighten this out while I'm here. I've had to play with my multi-grips, and if I put them in there at this jaw setting, right, and just pull the front around, nope, maybe I need two hands, like so, I can pull that back into its correct alignment. Now, go. Then I'm just going to heat it, hold it there for a couple of minutes, should be good. So with the heat applied, she's sitting there. I will expect in a couple of minutes we'll let the scale to spring back a little bit, but at the moment, if you look, I'm actually pulling it too far. So we should be good. Now you can see this lines up. I have dug into the bar here and here, the motor grips. Probably should have put something under there, but it generally lines up with where it's supposed to be. More evidence this thing has been painted at some point. I think there's some bogging behind here as well. Yeah, definitely been repaired on this corner at some point, poorly. But yeah, I'll just hold that there for another couple of minutes to keep that out. And that is still infinitely better than it was, and I'll worry about filling these and what I do about that later, now that the actual bodywork lines up, because that was the thing that annoyed me the most, and also would entice scraping when it's lowered, so it needs to be out there to be out of the way. Next, go on the fronts, get some rolling action done, and then that'll be it for today. The next thing I do after that will be fitting the lowering springs. So now onto the front. We want to remove these screws before we put the roller in, simply because we don't want the roller to have to go over them. They're 10mm. There. And the amount we're rolling it shouldn't affect too much here. And there is only the two of them there. And if I didn't know better, I'd say this actually been rolled before. See the splits here. And it would sort of make sense with it being pulled up a bit, but one old lady owner, eh? With rolled guards, custom exhaust, etc, etc. Anyway, I'll get this thing mounted up and give that a bit of a tuck once I get the heat in it. So the process is exactly the same as before. We start gently, wind on a bit more that way. Yep. We just gently pull it out with the inner guard included, get a little bit out of it, like that. We square this off, just to square this up. So you get a lot of movement out of here because there's just not as much holding it. And you can see the shape of the guard working here, where that's almost gone, and that's got half the roller sticking out. That's why it's a constant adjustment. Yep, that's pretty good. I'll square it up, give it another hit, and that should be okay. Well, I got that front screw in. I can't get this one in anymore. One that goes in here. There's about 10 other screws up in that guard, so I'm going to say that's good enough. That guard's not coming off, the inner guard. Plastic. So anyway, that's the guards rolled. It's just a light rolling. If you want to see me flaring the guard, that was on the 33, that's an old video. If you go back and look for, search Tangles 01 fender rolling or guard rolling, it should be the first result, or if you just search my particular YouTube channel for it, to guarantee you get that one and not someone else's. Obviously there's plenty of other good tutorials on how to do that, and mine's not really a tutorial, it's just me doing it. But yeah, that's this side done. I'm going to do the other side, and that'll be it. The next thing will be to fit the lowering springs, and then potentially have to fit some camber bolts, which should be sufficient for the amount of camber I need out of this thing. It's just to double check for clearing on the fronts effectively, but the rears are independent rear suspension, so if I need to, I can also put camber bolts in the rear, but the front guards are narrower than the rear relative to the hub, so I expect it to be camber bolts on the front at worst and nothing required on the back. Now that the guards rolled, shouldn't be cutting anything, and we should be good to go. Oh, and that cut in the side of the tyre, it might look a little worse than what it really is, because there are grooves in the sidewall of the tyre there. It's about the same depth as that, so that's why I'm determining that tyre is safe to continue using, because it's only as deep as the grooves that are in the tyre to start with that run down the shoulder. The other thing is those witness marks on the upright on the rear. I've just realised when fitting the tyre, I'm rubbing the tyre on that strut as I sort of slide it up into place. So I'd say that's where the cleaning has happened. You know, the witness mark is from me fitting the tyres, not from rubbing while driving. So I don't think it's tyre deflection, I think it's me fitting the tyres. Just leaving that clean spot. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much. See you next week or in a couple of days, whatever I decide to do. Work is not as well, I'm not going out to site now, at least not for the time being. I may have to, but for the time being I'm not going to be going out there. But there's some other projects that need my help, and I'll be working on those at least for the time being from the office. But I foresee in the not too distant future having to go out to those sites as well and fix them. And then hopefully I get a pay rise for it, because while it's a good chunk of money, it's not enough, not for what I'm doing. Anyway, enjoy your weekend or whenever I put this out, and I'll see you when I fit the lowering springs, which will for me be tomorrow. For you, might be a week away.